The Dirty Laundry.
Welcome to Dirty Laundry, guys. That kind of took me by surprise. It seemed like it just...
What? TV?
We went on live.
Just popped on?
Just...
How y'all doing tonight?
I'm excited.
What are you excited about?
I'm just happy to be here.
Okay. So, that's great.
No, I think we got a great show in store for you guys tonight. So, tell them what we're talking about, P.
Well, tonight, you guys, we're going to be talking about Business 101. Me and Ken both are business owners, and we always get questions about how did we start, what made you do it, how did you get customers, just different things. So tonight, we just, Dirty Laundry, we have fun all the time. So tonight, we just like, hey, let's do something. Let's teach.
Right, let's help. We're here to help at the end of the day. And trust and believe we're definitely still going to have fun along the way. So it's going to get pretty interesting. But I think for those who haven't seen the show before and are just tuning in for the first time, maybe we should tell them a little bit about who we are and why maybe we're qualified to talk about business and how to handle business before we get into tonight's show.
Now, I don't know if I'm qualified, but I'm going to tell you what I went through, what I've learned over the last year, because I've been in business the last year. I actually have been in business for 3 years if I include my radio show. I have a radio show called The P Show. That's an internet radio show. But I've also done a lot of small businesses ever since 2002. So here we are in 2014, and now I'm finally a business owner working for myself and have been for the last year and have been okay. So I would like to touch on that and how I thought I couldn't. So, and I know it's a lot of people sitting at home right now like, it's no way I can do that. That can't work. So we just want to touch on some different pointers as to why it can work. I also own a jewelry store called Celebrity Status Jewels. It's off of 9 Mile Road across from Newbridge. It's 5928 9 Mile Road. And I also have Case Candy. The shirt that I have on tonight was made by Vegas at Realism Clothing. Shout him out. And it's called Custom Shirt Shack. I call him Realism Clothing. Follow him on Instagram. But Vegas, I always go to Vegas when I want to think about branding and getting my shirts made. So, again, later on in the show, we'll touch on all those different things and different outlets that we have along the way with our businesses. Right, Ken?
Definitely. And for those who I guess don't necessarily follow me, I've actually been in business since 2011 now. It started out with my entertainment blog. It's KenBarbie.com, which branched off into a clothing line and most recently my cosmetics line. And of course the radio and television thing. So I'm going to give my input on what I think it takes to successfully get into business, and especially when it's really revolved around yourself and there aren't any other workers up under you and so forth. So it's going to be pretty insightful and hopefully will help somebody out tonight.
I hope so too, Ken. I really do. So first, I guess we'll go into the dirty.
Yes, the dirty, for those of you unfamiliar, is our news and entertainment discussion. Each of these stories can be found in more detail at KenBarbie.com, which is your #1 source for news and entertainment. And this week, it's a little bit of a running theme. I like everything to tie together a little bit. So things are finally getting real in the world of reality television. And I think each of these stories is going to prove that. So last weekend, reality star Evelyn Lozada of Basketball Wives and fiancé Los Angeles Dodgers outfielder Carl Crawford welcomed their newborn baby boy, Carl Crawford Jr. in Arizona. And among the many people who sent, I guess, well wishes to the couple was talk show diva Wendy Williams, who acknowledged the news this week during her Hot Topics discussion on The Wendy Williams Show. Wendy stated, you ready for this? Wendy stated, Evelyn gave birth to a cash register. A baby boy with her fiance. Then she tried to back it up, stating, I didn't mean to make that cash register joke, but you guys see why it needed to be said. Anyway, congratulations, girl.
Why did it need to be said?
She went on to explain, kind of like she upgraded him, and now that she had the baby, he's going to have to upgrade her. Here's what I'm thinking, Evelyn. You should become involved in a lot of charity work, and also talk to your man about opening you up another store, except Dolce Beverly Hills, not Dolce Miami. Dolce is Evelyn's store that she has out of Miami, selling shoes and women's clothing. Apparently, Williams' very sly celebratory remarks was not taken too well by the 38-year-old Lozada, as she took to her personal Twitter, clapping back basically. She stated, "You know, Wendy Williams, I never bother anyone. I even bought you a beautiful bouquet of flowers congratulating you when you were on Broadway. But since you want me to open a Dolce in LA, maybe your man can come to that store and purchase shoes for another woman like he did in my Miami store." Ooh. She then stated he purchased her suede over-the-knee boots, triple platform, just in case you wanted to know what shoes they were. Don't come for me because I don't bother you. Now put that on Hot Topics.
Yeah, Hot Topic.
Well, I mean, I'm not one to really agree with Twitter beef and so forth, but I'm really surprised that no one has ran up on Wendy Williams at this point. Like, her mouth...
She's been doing it for years. That's how she branded herself. I
get it, but some things should be off limit. Like, children should be off limits. A cash register, though, that's extremely disrespectful to me.
I mean, I don't feel like it's disrespectful. It's how you take it.
So how do you take it?
I wouldn't have took it at all. I wouldn't pay no mind. Like, whatever. Like, you upgraded him and now he's upgrading you. That sounds so childish.
It does, but at the end of the day, this is her. I think you would feel differently if this was your child, something that you feel like you've been blessed with, and somebody's basically demeaning that, saying that it's all a check for you. You would feel a way about that. All right, so moving forward to our second reality drama. Kenya Moore of The Real Housewives of Atlanta is, I guess, playing every deck in her wild card deck, in her cards, because she's recently been socked in the face by one of her castmates, so now she's trying to make up for it. So reports surfaced last week that the easy, greasy, beautiful cover girl caught a beatdown last Thursday by her castmate, Porsha Stewart, during the taping of the Real Housewives reunion show. It was basically put off that it was rumors and so forth and that it was no confirmation. However, as of last night, a tape has leaked of Kenya calling to 911 where she stated to the police, "She hit me in my head and tried fighting me. She just kept hitting me." So I think it's pretty much a definite thing that there was definitely an event. There were definitely some hands thrown Kenya's way, more so. But it just strikes me as surprising because I remember a couple weeks ago Kenya was talking all this stuff about how she's not a punk and she's not going to back down from anyone. Do we lose a little bit of respect for her now that she's running off and calling police and playing victim? And how do we feel about that, Pumpkin?
She's been doing that, though. Nobody cares. Nobody. Kenya is, like, irrelevant in my eyes.
You think so?
She is to me. Why is she relevant?
I mean, a lot of people actually think that Kenya kind of carries the show more than Nene at this point.
I don't agree.
Now, where this negatively affects Porsha is rumored, do have it, hasn't been confirmed just yet, that Porsha's now fired based on this incident. Now, Porsha just lost her man. Porsha has lost his checks. So it's really important that she keeps hers. And it's going to be very unfortunate if she's no longer a cast member of the Housewives. But I guess we'll have to wait for the reunion to see, because they're saying she wasn't even allowed to come back to finish the taping.
I don't know. I mean, we'll just wait. We'll wait and see.
And I mean,
it's like drama, so...
And that's what's weird to me.
It'll probably work.
That's what's weird to me. It's like they put these cast members in these situations and they encourage the drama, but then when a fight actually jumps off, everybody's offended and don't know what to do and want to call off the show. Like, I don't understand. You set this up. This is what you wanted.
Yeah.
All right, and our last story of the week. Love and Hip Hop Atlanta reality star Benzio was seriously injured after being shot by his nephew last Saturday at his mother's funeral.
It's sad. It's crazy. He was taking pictures in the hospital, though, like he was okay.
Right, he's good now.
I mean, he's all on the ground.
He is on Instagram.
Yeah, I mean, he's just taking pictures in the hospital and all this.
So not much was revealed about Not much was revealed about the incident itself. Benzino did take to his Instagram account to speak out briefly, just stating that it was an incident that got way out of hand as he disagreed with his nephew, stating that he believes his nephew and his sister took advantage of his mother for years, and it basically went out from that. At the funeral, though, don't try to kill.
What happened?
I understand that we're already at the funeral.
What was the reason?
I guess they didn't.
Monday. What happened? Who took her pack? What?
First of all, why did any of this have to be addressed at the funeral?
At the funeral.
You already started off wrong when you decided that you wanted to confront anybody at a funeral.
At the funeral.
Can we mourn?
Dang.
Can we be sad? But you know what? Shout out to Benzio. Hopefully he recovers well. He seems to be doing okay.
Did the funeral go on?
You know what? That is a good question.
Nobody even cared about Mom after this point. Like, y'all just stopped the whole funeral so they could shoot each other or whatever.
Right. And take the nephew into custody, little baby nephew.
Oh my goodness.
It's just a mess. And hopefully Benzio can find a neck and get out of the hospital soon. Like, shout out to him. But that's it for the dirty. Keep in mind you can check out each one of these stories and more at KenBarbie.com, your number one source in news and entertainment.
Oh. Oh, KenBarbie. Alright, y'all, so this is when it gets fun. Right, Ken?
That's it.
It gets fun. We are definitely going to have a little fun tonight, and we're going to learn, hopefully. And we're not experts, but we have definitely been through enough to talk about what we feel that we did wrong or what we did right about our businesses. And
I'm really glad you said that. I want to say that too. By no means are we perfect at this. I'm still learning myself every day. So these are just the things that we feel like are basic. So my top 10 tonight is the top 10 do's and don'ts of Business 101. So it's 101, meaning this is the first session, this is the first class, and these are the basics that you need to know when you want to get into business for yourself. And you know what? It doesn't even have to be business for yourself, whether this is just maybe you're satisfied with having a 9-to-5 and working along with somebody. This could benefit you as well. Or just following dreams in general. This is going to cover a lot of different things as far as taking those directions. You ready, P?
Go ahead.
All right. I hope we agree on things tonight. You know, it's rare. It's a rarity. All right.
We do business very differently.
We do.
We tend to do it very differently.
But we come together well.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. All right, so number 10. And again, these are the top 10 do's and don'ts of Business 101. Number 10. Do not get caught in the idea of perfect timing. What I mean by that, we've all heard the phrase timing is everything, right? And in some cases, that can actually be pretty true. But I think when it comes to business or just pursuing your dreams in general, oftentimes people use that as a crutch and an excuse when really there is no such thing as perfect timing when it comes to going in business for yourself. You don't want to be that person that's sitting back saying, okay, so, I mean, I'm just waiting on the right time. I'm just waiting on the right time to finally get out here and start my business and all of that. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, I'm sitting over here on the other side like, so when do you think that perfect time is? Like, is there a plan here? So basically the way that I feel about it is there's nothing wrong with waiting for that right time, but that right time needs to be planned. So you need to set yourself a goal, maybe set yourself a business plan. Well, okay, this is where I want to do it. This is how I'm going to do it. Let's make this the time. But don't sit back and say, I'm waiting on the right time, because that's not going to come to you. You have to make that happen.
True indeed.
What do you think, P?
I agree with you. There is no right time, and then you'll be looking back years later saying, I should have just did it then.
Exactly.
You know, that's just all. It's going to turn into, dang, why didn't I do this sooner?
So in your experience, what have you done as far as timing your business and your different ventures? Has it been something you just went for, or did you plan out goals and dates?
Yeah, I definitely have a date that I want to start. Like, you always have a date that you want to start. I want this to happen by da-da-da-da.
Absolutely.
Those are goals. You have to have goals. So you have your date that I want to start by da-da-da-da or whatever. But it's just certain steps that you have to do before you start. I agree. But a lot of people are afraid because it could be money.
It could be that, but I mean, all in all, I feel like the right time, and that's a crutch. Don't become a crutch queen who's just using excuses and holding yourself back at the end of the day. You want to be able to exceed and make your business and your dreams happen, so go out there and make it happen and do what you have to do so.
I agree.
I think for me, I never really was one to wait on timing. Now, I do believe in properly setting up everything. So, for example, launching my blog, I made sure that I strictly focused on that and established KenBarbie.com as a brand before getting into t-shirts and cosmetics and so forth. So I would say maybe about a year or so into it is when I noticed the different quotes and so forth that people were latching on to from my blog, and I'm, hey, let's take this to the next level. T-shirts, expand. So it's not necessarily about just waiting around for everything, but also make sure that you're doing everything correctly and establishing one piece before developing the next. So number 9, and again, these are the top 10 do's and don'ts of Business 101. Do understand that you are your best investment. So it might sound cliche to say, but a lot of times, number 1, you have to spend money to make money, and the greatest investment that you can ever make is in yourself. So yeah, I would say that I was my own best investment. That was probably the best thing I ever did by just investing in that. When you're launching a new business, you have to be willing to put your all into that business, whether it's investing your mind into it, whether it's investing your money into it. And sometimes it is just going to be just your money that you have coming in that you have to invest. But if this is something that you really want to do and you're passionate about, you just have to do what you have to do and really invest in your business in order to see it succeed.
Yeah, you have to, because you can't be afraid. You just cannot be afraid. I would probably take my last dollar and invest it in my business and be ready to flip something. I've always been like that since I was in middle school, elementary school, selling everything.
What are you flipping in middle school?
Candy. Ask anybody. Like, I'm pretty sure there's people sitting in front of their TV right now like, yes, we remember. Like, Pumpkin been doing this. This is nothing new. But I've always had this ambition, this drive to get money. That's all I could always think of, and whatever it took. I flip quarters, you know what I'm saying? Sell a little gum, make something, start creating stuff. I mean, I used to create things. I've done the Avon, I've done the Mary Kay, working for other people while they're giving me a percentage of the money and they're keeping this lump sum. So that's why I was like, well, Dad, I can make my own money and I don't have to give nobody no percentages or anything. Start my own business.
Right. And I think a lot of times people get it twisted in the beginning. Everyone can't be blessed to sign major manufacturing contracts and everything in the beginning. So sometimes you really do have to take your own money and really develop this business and fund, whether it's your product or your television shows and things like that. Sometimes it's just going to be your own money, and that's going to be the way that you have to go about it until you do get to that level where you are signing contracts and making deals where other people can invest their funds into it. Mm-hmm. But you have to be willing to invest in yourself first before anybody else will.
Have to.
I feel like a connection tonight because we don't agree, but tonight we're agreeing.
Ken, it's about business.
I guess that's why it works, right? That's why it works, right? Yeah. All right. So number 8. I have a feeling this one is going to just touch your spirit.
Okay. Is it about money?
It has to be done to make money. Okay. Just like the rest of this list. All right, so number 8 is do research. Okay. So there are so many different reasons why research is important.
Yes.
The first is because in order to be taken seriously in business, you most certainly have to know what you're talking about, first of all. And I mean, we live in a world where technology puts everything at our fingertips. So don't ask me anything that you can ask Google, because I'm going to send you back, and it's not being mean-spirited or holding back information, but it's more so because if you seriously want to do something, you need to learn it and invest in it and do it yourself. I mean, P, have you had any type of handouts, or is it something that, or do you sit back and research and...
No. Of course, you have friends that you might talk to when you decide to get into business or decide to do something, but they don't know. They new to it just like you. So naturally, with everything I've done, I've researched it. With the P show, with Celebrity Status Jewels, anything that I've done, period. Like even with TV shows, I research it. I go and I Google and The internet. It should be. I mean, it got everything on the internet, Ken. Did you know that?
I do. And
did you know that you can search anything on the internet?
Hell, ask Google, ask Jeeves, ask whoever you need to ask.
Siri is on the iPhone. Ask her. Like, you know. But at the end of the day, don't expect nobody to tell you anything. Because a lot of people do not want to give it up. Like,
a lot of people are cutthroat.
They will, you know, and you, like I said, later on in the show, I'll just talk about different things that I learned along the way that I won't, my mistakes, you know, but definitely research.
And another reason why I suggest that research is important is because there's multiple different ways to do business. There are multiple different ways to do everything. Mm-hmm. So what works for me or what works for you, Pumpkin, they might not work for each other. Everybody can't do the same thing. Everybody can't handle things the same way. Yeah. So you want to make sure you put in the research and the work to know the different options that you have and really find out what works for you. So it's definitely important to do that research.
Yep.
Number 7. And again, these are the top 10 do's and don'ts of Business 101. Do understand why you're doing business or why you're getting into this particular business. So there's a difference in genuine inspiration and simply looking for a come up. Mm-hmm. So in order to be successful at something, it has to be something that you're passionate about and something that you're serious about developing for yourself.
Yeah.
So it's nothing wrong with being inspired at all. We've all been inspired by someone, something at some point. But don't ever get into a situation where because you see that this is working for one individual and you see that they're making money and they're successful at it, that, let me go ahead and do that. Let me go ahead and start selling hair because she doing it. Look, you see her? She is slinging that Brazilian. I'm gonna do it too because I want that money. Like, don't ever be that person because that may be something that person, they live for selling hair. They live for selling weed and putting wigs on people's head. You're not about that. You're just about getting your coin and your money, and there's nothing wrong with that. But find what makes that money for you, what works for you, and what you're passionate about.
Exactly. Like one of the quotes that I love is be inspired but don't copy. Mm-hmm. You know, and I mean, I inspired somebody and I didn't want to.
Wait, what?
I really didn't. I was told that she was inspired and then she was doing everything I was doing, but I didn't want to inspire.
I mean,
I don't want to.
Well, I feel like if you're
be inspired, don't.
I feel like if you're not inspiring people, then you're not really doing anything. So
I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. I was doing perfectly fine. However, I got over it. You know, I talked to a couple of my mentors about the situation, and I got over it. And I was just like, you know, again, like you just stated, somebody saw me doing something I love and making money off of it, and they decided, well, dang, I can make money too doing that. I don't really love doing this, but I'm going to figure out how it's done so that I can. So again, this is when people tend to pick your brain and ask you certain things and want you to give them certain information, you know, so that they can do that. But
and it doesn't even necessarily have to be from a copying aspect, though. I mean, it also could, say for example, you see me blogging and that's working for me. So I don't know, you want to be the one in pictures with certain types of people and being able to go to certain types of events and so forth. And that's fine, but understand why you're doing that. Do you just want to start blogging because you want the perks that come with it? Or are you blogging because this is honestly something that you're passionate about? I mean, me, I'm a celebrity blogger, but that's because I've lived for pop culture, music, all of that since I was a kid. That's all I would sit back and study while other kids were looking at music and videos and girls twerking on their computers in school. I'm sitting back looking at Wikipedia, studying my favorite celebrities and what they're doing and where they're charting on music charts. It sounds like a nerd now, but it makes sense to me today where I am because it's something that I'm passionate about.
Well, I started counting money when I was 5.
Great example.
I was 5 years old.
Great example.
That's when I learned to count pennies and nickels and dimes. Yeah.
I would hope so.
Yeah. So that led me down a whole nother path of getting money. I remember making $10 was great for me in school.
Absolutely. In school?
I was in school. I was like, "Dad, I made 20 today. I made 10 today. I made 50." Like I felt like I did something. I had a goal. Then when I started gambling, I started trying to do the flip can.
See, we don't want to encourage that.
I don't encourage the gambling thing because I'm still a gambler and it's really bad. Okay, people.
Very.
I don't know what happens.
Pumpkins thinks she's supposed to go to the casino every weekend and we're off.
Yeah. But it's just, that's what I see. I just see money. I don't know why I've been like that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
But I was able to find a way to make it keep a constant flip, and that's where the business come in and make it legit. Because I don't want to go pick up a pack, and try to do something illegal. It's just not necessary. And honestly, if you're doing anything illegal right now, if you ain't made it after about a few years and you're not living good, it's like, why are you even wasting your time with the game? Go buy a hot dog truck.
Wait, what?
Get something.
Are they just giving those out now, or
you better go buy one? Go get your ice cream truck or something. They got boutiques on wheels now. Create an idea that works for you. Take that illegal money and do something good with it. That's all I'm saying. Just make it work for you, because if your hustle ain't working, then you got to try something else.
Right. And the last thing I wanted to touch on with that before we move to the next number is the other reason why it's important to make sure that you're passionate about what you're doing is because you want to be happy. So if you're just doing this because you see it works or it makes money, you might as well continue to work under somebody else at a regular 9 to 5 and don't go in business for yourself because you're not doing it for the right reasons.
Yep.
So number 6, and this actually parlays off of what we just talked about with the inspiration and so forth. A lot of times with inspiration comes competition. So don't get caught up in the hype that is competition. And the reason I call it hype is because me personally, I don't believe in competition whatsoever.
Yeah.
I just don't. I just feel like nobody can do me and what I do the way that I do it. Nobody else has your talent. Nobody else has your support. Nobody is going to be able to do everything that you do. They may be inspired by it and they may attempt to, but every single time they try to run your race, they're going to fail miserably. So don't ever sit back and let people tell you, oh, this person's doing this or this person's doing that. Okay, let them do it. Let's both get money. I don't care. It's not about a competing thing though. Ever.
Why we gotta compete?
I just want my money. I just want to.
You doing you over there. I'm doing me over here. We don't have the same clientele. We don't have the same customers. We might know some of the same people, but my people might not support you like that, and your people might not support me like that. And if they are, cool, so be it. But at the end of the day, trust and believe, when I'm handling business, it's about me and my business. And I'm definitely not going to sit around and talk about any other business owners. Like, how does that make you look?
I don't have that type of time. And but you know what? I feel like a lot of times competition isn't even put together by the people. Yeah. It's other outside people who say, oh, who y'all think is better between Rihanna and Beyonce?
It's like, lame though.
Why? You really think Rihanna and Beyonce are sitting back comparing each other when they're both getting hits right now?
No. Exactly. It's not. You should not have to worry about that though. No competition. Right. None. No, don't ever feel like somebody is doing something way better than you or whatever. You be the best you can be. Right. And do the best you can and make your stuff right. Focus on your business.
And especially when you're getting started, because one thing that I've noticed, and I've actually seen it personally towards me, I don't care, but I see it, where people will want to get into a certain business or do certain things, so they automatically think it's the way to get in is by starting controversy, by maybe coming after that person who's doing their thing and on top right now to gain attention to themselves. You know, maybe like 50 Cent and Ja Rule back in the day.
But you gotta ignore it.
You have to. You as the bigger person have to ignore it. But you as the lesser person, I guess in this instance, don't take that route, because what's going to happen is realize that this person is doing their thing. This person is getting their money and getting their respect while they're still not thinking about you. Meanwhile, you're trying to get their attention and get other people's attention off of them, but nobody's noticing because you're not going the right way about it. So at the end of the day, you're still losing. Mm-hmm. Don't do that to yourself.
Yeah, no, don't.
So competition when it comes to business, nah. We off that these days. Everybody can do their own thing and make it happen.
Okay, we all just get along.
Number 5, and again, these are the top 10 do's and don'ts of Business 101. do understand that being consistent is key. So when you're in any type of business, no matter what it is, you have to remain consistent. Don't go hard for 2 to 3 weeks and get some fast money and then fall off, because it's going to be hard to build that momentum back. You want to make sure that you're giving a consistent product and you're showing that you're something that people can believe in, rather than something that's going to be wishy-washy and fall off. So definitely stay consistent with whatever it is that you're doing. What do you think, P?
I agree. Consistency is key. And I've always been told that I'm very consistent. And that long as I stay like that, I'm going to be good. And I've been told that for so long. And that's with everything we do. Like, they always say you promote heavy, hard, all the time. I can't help it. Because if it's something I love and I want to make it work, then I'm going to make it happen. And nobody's going to make my business work better than me.
Right. Nobody's
going to promote as hard as I promote for it. Nobody's going to sell as hard as I sell. Nobody's going to run around and do half the things that I do to make this happen. So I have to do that for myself. So consistency is key. Be consistent.
You have
if you fall off for a couple seconds, people forget about you. Like, where's she been at? We ain't seen her post nothing lately. You know, social media is crazy huge for your business these days. So if you disappear off of that.
Right. And I mean, some people have short attention spans as the business owner. So me, I can be all over the place sometimes. 1 minute I'm thinking about how I'm writing scripts and so forth for Dirty Laundry's Top 10.
Yeah.
But the next minute, I'm doing inventory for my lipstick. The next minute, I'm ready to blog. But it helps when you kind of put yourself on a schedule, if you have to, as far as, okay, on a day-to-day basis, I do this, that, and the third, so that you can remain consistent. Yeah. If you know that you're all over the place, be as proactive as you can as far as controlling that. So a schedule is definitely key.
Yeah.
Me personally, I have to put myself on a schedule with everything. Even when it comes down to my social media accounts, everything is planned as far as I'm doing this, that, and the third at this particular time. Like, it's all about planning to remain consistent to me.
Well, especially with social media, I pulled something up earlier today stating that don't overdo it on your social media accounts. Time it. They was like, you don't want to post 20 things at one time. Mm-hmm. Think about the people that haven't woke up yet.
Right.
Think about the people that might not be in the same time zone as you, and they might not be up moving around doing whatever. So you need to spread those 20 posts out.
Right.
Gives everybody a chance to look at it. You want people clicking on your name and clicking on your bios or whatever, and clicking your business page all day long. So you want to make sure something is popping out. Like, I have different tools I use to make sure that stuff is popping out automatically all day.
And it's not even just with social media. It's really with just the business as a whole. If you're a hairdresser, don't be in the shop 2 days out the week, 1 week, and then the next, because you need some extra money, you're there 5 days a week. If you want to build a consistent customer basis, you have to be consistent. So whether you're slow or not, stay in that shop and your money will eventually come. As long as people know that you're there, you're available, and you're remaining consistent, the business is going to come to you.
I agree.
All right, so number 4, and this actually ties together with the last one that we talked about. When you said that certain people may not be up and so forth. Number 4 is all about know your audience. So everybody doesn't have the same following. Every business does not have the same supporters, because everything just simply is not for everybody.
Yeah.
So you have to know in the beginning, when you're ready to launch a business, who am I marketing towards? Who am I aiming this product towards? Who can I reach out to, and who do I think is even willing to have me reach out with it? Like, you really want to know where that interest is coming from. So me, for example, my cosmetics line is called For Pretty Bitches by KenBarbie. I'm not going to take For Pretty Bitches to a 70-year-old woman and say, here, try this on. Now, if that 70-year-old woman comes to me and is interested in the product, cool. But me, as the owner of that particular business, I know where I stand and what market I'm aiming towards and who my main supporters are. So I'm going to try to work on that. But I'm not going to reach outside of my obvious audience and hurt myself in the long run. So you definitely have to know your audience and who you're marketing to. What do you think, P?
Yeah, you do. You have to, because, I mean, I know for a fact I might not be able to sell a lot of dresses. I don't like dresses. Only wear them on my birthday. I like skirts here and there. But if I'm not going to wear my product and market my product, then I don't want to sell it.
Absolutely.
And I love jewelry. So I love earrings. I love earrings. I love necklaces. I don't really wear a lot of bracelets or whatever, but it all falls into the same category. So I'm able to promote that. But it worked for me because I was like tired of going into different stores, buying all these expensive earrings and necklaces and da-da-da, and I can get my own and I can sell it to people for a reasonable price, and they can be fashionable, and it's not stuff that everybody has in my city. So I just thought that was neat. I mean, I was like, look, you sitting at home looking at Love and Hip Hop and you love this necklace, so I'm able to get the same products that they have on Love and Hip Hop. That was crazy. So once that happened and people start watching TV and saying, Dad, Pumpkin got that same stuff that I just seen, that necklace that I saw on Love and Hip Hop, or that necklace that I saw on Basketball Wives or whatever, it helped build my clientele up. And it's also, you can't just walk into Ruby Red or Dots or anything and get it. You know, you can't. So it helped. And also having the online businesses. That really helps a lot.
Absolutely.
Because it helps you to be able to ship worldwide. You do not have to be limited to your area.
That's a really good point. And I want to actually talk about limiting yourself to certain areas after the top 10.
Yeah.
But yeah, you definitely just want to know your audience and who you're marketing to. And don't get me wrong, it's not, you do want to establish who you're aiming towards in the beginning, but at the same time, as your business continues to grow, it should never just be to that same market. It should be able to expand and reach new people consistently. So, for example, if you're selling, with me, selling the lipstick lines and the cosmetics lines and so forth.
No, you can't wear it.
I can't wear it.
Yeah.
But based on my overall brand, because I know what my brand is and so forth, I'm able to sell it without having to necessarily wear the product. Now, I can use cosmetics, and I don't want to give away too much about where that would come in at, but I can definitely use cosmetics, and I do plan on in the future as far as certain things that I'm developing. But what I was getting to was just that you don't want to market to the same people all just at the same time. You want to continue to grow your business and reach new outlets. So who knows? Maybe one day For Pretty Bitches by KenBarbie will be worn by that 70-year-old woman sitting in the middle of Oprah. Who knows? I'm shooting for the stars. But
what was your audience? As you're talking about an audience, what audience were you reaching for when you decided to do that?
My pretty boos, that's what I call my supporters, for those who aren't familiar. My pretty boos are all about sass and confidence and just being strong in themselves and who they are. So
you wanted to market your product to women?
Definitely, because I feel like my reason for doing what I did was basically I felt like that women are sort of, I want to say, lost when it comes to camaraderie and being confident and building each other up. A lot of times they're tearing each other down and competing over boyfriends and so forth when you guys don't even have to do that.
I feel you, but what I'm saying to you is, how did that have anything to do with you building your audience for your brand? I don't get that. Like, so when you sat down, you was just thinking about, oh, women just hate each other, so I just got to do something to stop these women from hating each other?
No, it's about confidence and positivity in women. So if I'm trying to bring women together and show that it can be something positive, first and foremost, you can't be positive towards someone else if you're not confident in yourself. So with For Pretty Bitches by KenBarbie, that's going to help. Every woman is beautiful. Makeup isn't making you beautiful, but makeup is going to help you feel beautiful at times. So it's all about confidence and promoting positivity amongst that particular demographic to me. And that's what I felt that I was offering that to.
And that's your brand name. Your name of your brand was for that.
Absolutely. And I want to touch on that really quickly. A lot of people may be turned off by the term bitches, but that's another part of my message, is that words have power. So if you put a negative connotation to this word, then yes, it's going to stay negative. Mm-hmm. But if you want to put a positive spin on something, there you go. I'm called that particular word all the time. I don't want to keep throwing it around because, we wouldn't be able to come back next week.
Yeah, we get fired a lot.
But I'm called that word all the time, and I'm like, hey, all right, I'm going to be that particular B word, and I'm going to use this to run my business and bring it to something positive. So, it's all about what you make of things.
All right.
Number 3. And again, these are the top 10 do's and don'ts of Business 101. Do surround yourself with business-minded people. Mm-hmm. So, when you're launching a business, when you're following a dream, please do not allow yourself to be stagnant based on other people that you're around. So you don't want to be with that, while you're really shooting for a goal, you don't want to be with that friend who's satisfied with just sitting on the couch looking at Love and Hip Hop all day. Mm-hmm. Like, it's cool to remain friends with them. I'm not saying drop them at all, but you don't want to be the one who gets caught up in doing that with them. Mm-hmm. Be able to be around people who are supportive and who are going to encourage you to follow your dream and do what you have to do to make this business happen. Mm-hmm. What do you think, P?
I agree. They say you judge by the company you keep anyway.
Right.
So
what? I wonder what people think when I'm with you.
They think I'm gay. They think I'm gay.
No, they don't.
They probably think we're sleeping together, Ken. We're together too much. They probably don't believe that you're gay.
Now, I'm gonna tell you one thing that I highly doubt that anybody's questioning,
but no, seriously, you do have to be around like-minded people, and I was told that by so many other people that are successful business owners. Like, you can't be hanging around people that don't have no goals in life. Right, and think that it's gonna help you get to your goals or get to that next level. You gotta grow. You can't grow with these same people you might have been hanging with when you was younger. Y'all used to chill together after school or do whatever you do, but then he might still be on that, I'm gonna sit at home and smoke weed and play video games all day. Is that what you want to do? No. You want to go start your own business. He might be telling you, nah, you don't need to do that. I never do that, man. I ain't putting my money into nothing like that. How can you grow when you got somebody being negative like that and telling you that you can't do it?
Exactly. And naturally, as people with friends, you want to be able to go to your friends about advice, whether that's with relationships or anything. So especially when it comes to a business, you want to be able to have that friend to turn to say, hey, what do you think about this? Or what are your experiences with this? I know me and Pumpkin actually go through that from time to time. We do completely different things. Yeah, we do. But sometimes we can come to each other for advice and say, hey, this is what I'm going through. What do you think? Or what would you do? Yeah. And it works. So you want to be able to have at least one good person in your corner who is about their business or who maybe even does something similar to you that you can just go to from time to time and you guys can relate and pick each other's brain on what you should do.
Yeah.
All right. I don't think we ever agreed this much, but whatever. Number 2, understand that your network is your net worth. So when it comes to doing any type of business, networking is everything.
It is.
You'll be surprised at the connections that you can make, the deals you may be able to get, and the people who you meet just simply off of talking, networking, and doing what you have to do to get there. I think it's kind of funny how you and I even came together. It started out as, you want to tell the story?
No.
All right, just a quick rundown.
You tell them better.
This is a quick rundown. Of course, me starting off as a celebrity blogger and launching my clothing line and so forth. Me and Pumpkin were friends on Facebook. Yeah. How that happened, I don't know. We were just networking. Pumpkin was doing a radio show, and she wanted to interview me about my line and my blog and so forth. So from there, we actually just remained as contacts and so forth until eventually we realized that, hey, we can work together. Yeah. We can make some things happen together.
This was like back in 2011 when I first started radio. In 2011 when I first started radio, it was around October. It's Gay Pride Month, or they do something for gay people that month. It might be like
around the end of the year, October.
Pride Day or something. It was something, Gay Awareness Month. That's what it is. You're supposed to know that. It's October. Gay Awareness Month. Are you really gay? I don't think so.
Like, the world may never know.
Anyway, it was October, it was Gay Awareness Month, and I just was like, well, this guy is doing something. He's successful, and I used to check out his blog. It's KenBarbie.com. I would go there, but it was like, cool. He's doing something. I'm doing something. Let's link up. Now, a year later, we ended up coming together
for Dirty Laundry.
You know, with the Dirty Laundry and reaching out to each other, staying in touch. For one, you know, he's still doing his own thing and I'm doing mine. And it just worked out.
Right, and that was just off of networking. Me seeing the things that Pumpkin was doing and how she was good at that. I was saying, hey, you know what? First of all, our drive is kind of similar.
It is.
And I think that we would make a good combination. So it was the perfect thing when I felt of a person who I wanted to do Dirty Laundry with, Pumpkin. So, I mean, we should say all of that to say that you never know who you may meet and the connections that you may make. So definitely make sure that you're out there and networking and getting to know people.
That's right.
And you ready for number one?
Let's go.
All right. Number one. Can I get a drum roll or something? Do we do that anymore? Or
10 o'clock at night. Drum roll in the night.
All right. The number one, and these are the top 10 do's and don'ts of business 101. The number one do understand that social networking is very important to your business at the end of the day.
Right now, this day and time, it's 2014. You have to be on social media.
You have to. And I've probably said this in every single interview that I've ever done. You never really understand the power of social networking until you really use it for what it's there for, you know? So you just have to be out there. That goes back to networking with other people. With social networking, you're getting to know people. You're putting your business out there. It's one of the biggest things that is going to push your business.
That's true. And with social media, the way that they're doing things now, like especially with hashtags and stuff, it's so easy to put your products out to billions of people so easily just by using a hashtag. And I know some of you might not know what a hashtag is, but the pound sign that's on your telephone, that's what we used to call it back in the day, that next to some words, those are hashtags. So you need to use those when you're posting stuff up. And make sure your page isn't private, because that's the dumbest thing in the world on social media.
That is a big bonus.
That's the dumbest thing in the world.
If you're running a business or you're a public figure, your page should not be private, because people's attention span is not that long, to be honest with you. So the time that it's going to take them to click your things for you to accept it and all of that, you might be doing something. You might not be checking Instagram.
I'm not going to go back and check your page.
I forgot. I don't remember.
I'm just not.
I found it somewhere else now.
Yeah. I'm not going back to your page and checking it. But I wanted to just touch on a couple things that I did before I started my business. And I just wanted to give y'all a couple pointers. The first thing is your business name. When you come up with a business name, please make sure you check to see that nobody else has it first. Definitely do your research on that. After I got my business names, I just sat back and thought of it, whatever. After I got my business names, the first thing I did was go to Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram and lock the name in on all three of those sites, because you want to try to match them as closely as you can. And if they're already taken, that might play a part into what you decide to name your business. I'm actually going through that with a friend right now, with helping her out with that. Me personally, I understand that we're on the internet, but I feel like even as a business owner on the internet, you should keep it professional. You know, with any business that you do, you should keep it very professional. And like Ken said, it's all about your audience. My audience, I'm not into all the cussing and posting up negative stuff and doing all this different stuff. That's on my main page. I have a business page also. So I have 2 different pages on my social media sites that I use, and the reason for that is so my business can be strictly that, so that I can post up just stuff about my business, because you might not want to deal with all this other junk that I got on my personal page. So that's my reasoning for doing that. Everybody conducts business differently. That's my own thing. Going into business with friends, like, even though me and Kim work very good together,
but I think a difference in that is we actually became friends through business.
Yeah. And we don't do the same thing. However, we still come to each other for advice on what we're doing. And me personally, I choose not to do business with friends because I value my friendships, and I know how I am. I know the type of person I am, and I've tried to work with people, And since I like things my way, I can't have a partner.
Does she?
I can't have a partner. I got to do what I'm going to do. I don't want to compromise with you. I don't want to have to do that. So that's why I decided to go into business by myself with my own money. I'm not going half with nobody. I'm doing everything on my own for a certain reason, and I don't want to ruin a friendship. But I think that's one of the hardest things. Friendship and partnership are two different things. You can be both, but you got to be able to separate it when you're in a business.
Right. You have to understand that it's a time and a place for everything.
Yeah.
Me and Pumpkin, for example, one minute we can be laughing and joking about, I don't know, some relationship troubles we're having.
Yeah.
But when it's time to do business and it's time to talk dirty laundry or the P-Show radio or things like that, we know how to cut it cute and talk about what needs to be talked about and handle that before we move back on to the foolishness and just generally laughing and having fun. Mm-hmm. Now, if you find that you have a friend who they don't know how to separate the two and they just want to laugh and play all the time, that's when it goes back into surrounding yourself with like-minded business individuals, because you want to be able to have them differentiate the two and move on.
Yes. And my main thing is never give away all your secrets. And the reason why I say that is because I find myself trusting so many people. In the past, I've trusted so many people with information, and it always come back to kick me in the butt, you know, some way, shape, or form. So when you go into business, you're going to find a lot of things. Like when we were talking about research, when you research, you're going to find out stuff. You're going to be like, dang, like, I can't believe this. You want to tell somebody, but you can't. Because if you tell it, that person going to tell somebody else, that person going to tell somebody else. You just took money out your own pocket, pretty much. So keep your secrets to yourself. Your business is your business. Keep it as that.
Exactly. I love that.
Yeah, keep it as that. I'm so serious. Like, I had this page that I had pulled up. Mm-hmm. It's on ABC News, and it says 7 tips for starting your own business, and it came from Good Morning America. One of the top things was be clear on why you want to start a business. Number 2 is determine your business type. 3, create a simple business plan. Did you create a business plan?
Yes and no. Me, I'm a fan of the vision board. You know, I watch Oprah. This is what Oprah taught me. The vision board, where you just basically make a board and put out different ideas. It can be like magazine clippings of things that you plan on incorporating in your business. It can be just statements that you've written down, just different things. That's my way of creating a business plan, is just visualizing what I want to do and putting it all together. So, yeah, I'm all for the business plan. What about you?
I never created a business plan. I'm crazy. I mean, with Celebrity Status Jewels, last year in May, I woke up in the middle of the night. It was actually in April. It was right before my birthday in April. I woke up in the middle of the night like, Ken, I want to do this.
I remember that phone call.
I want to sell jewelry.
And I'm sitting there like,
what do you feel about this name, Celebrity Status Jewels? He's like, okay. You know, it was really late. It was like 4 a.m. And within 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks, I had my business straight. I was booming. I'm good. I don't know how I'm able to do that, but that's just me. But I did not create a business plan. I just knew what I wanted to do. But this says you should create one, and you should.
But I mean, as far as a business plan, that's very relative to the person, because you don't. You, in a sense, you did make a plan. That was your way of planning. You didn't have to write it down and check off a list. Everybody doesn't have the same type of business plan. Just make sure you have some type of plan in place.
All right, and it says number 4. Nail your target customer. So you I guess basically you need to know who you want to buy this stuff. And 5, perfect your pricing. Your pricing has to make sense. You know, don't be thinking that you're going to be overpricing people and you got somebody right around the street selling it. Come on, keep it in a good range. You know, but people are going to support you regardless, but you want to make sure you can get some other customers besides
and
your
you want to make sure you're doing the right thing by your customers. Don't beat people's head in just because you can. You want to be able to, would you buy it? Think about that.
It says 6 is giving you tips on how to find startup money, and it's saying you could just like create a commercial or a fundraiser or something to get startup money. I didn't do that. I saved money. I saved money and I put it to the side for what I wanted to do. And I started off small. I didn't do too much. Don't overfill your plate. Yeah. And the last thing it says is go out and get customers. So you gotta go out and get that work.
That's networking.
Yeah.
Putting it out there, social networking, definitely. And
make sure your family and friends support what you're doing, because they're going to be the ones that are going to be buying stuff from you. Like, your family and friends will buy. They will. I mean, if they're not latching on to it, then you might want to rethink it.
But at the same time, you never want all of your support to be your family and friends either.
Nah. No, of course not. That can't work. That's not how you do business.
That's not necessarily a good look. So be careful with that. But yeah, hopefully we have really helped somebody tonight. I'll be posting my top 10 at KenBarbie.com as always. So for you guys who want to refer back to that, me and Pumpkin are always posting different business tips and so forth on our Instagrams, which you can follow me at official KenBarbie and P at the makings of P. And we're always giving little business tips and tidbits here and there to help out.
Definitely. Make sure you check out celebritystatusjewels.com. You can find some Case Candy. This shirt was, like I told y'all in the beginning, was made by Vegas. Case Candy is one of my brands that fall under Celebrity Status Jewels. I make custom cell phone cases, and you can go to celebritystatusjewels.com online, and then also check Celeb Stat Jewels. Yes, Ken has his, and his bow tie. Don't forget that. Check out Celeb Stat Jewels on Instagram too, so you can see some of the different things that I have. I have reached into 1,000 different markets at this point. It's more than jewelry. It's more than cell phone cases. I'm just touching on some of everything. And if you have some ideas, hey, shoot them to me, because I love ideas. And definitely follow the makings of P. And I'm on Facebook too. I am Pumpkin Green.
Check me out at itskenbarbie.com, your #1 source for news and entertainment. Follow me on Instagram, of course, at official KenBarbie. Make sure you check out for Pretty Bitches by KenBarbie. We've fully stocked, new colors available for the spring, and I'm also developing some new things that should actually be out by the end of this week. So stay tuned for that. So definitely check that out. You can buy that directly at itskenbarbie.bigcartel.com if you didn't want to go through the process. And also you can find me on Facebook as well as KenBarbie.
And definitely check us out this Saturday on LegacyInternetRadio.com.
Yes.
That's our new station for the P Show. We'll be on from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. That's LegacyInternetRadio.com or thePShow.com. And that's every Saturday.
Every Saturday from 12 to 2.
We are so excited to be on this new station. And we'll be back next Tuesday. Dirty Laundry, 9 p.m.
What are we talking about next week?
Who knows? And if you ever have any questions for us, please hit us up on social media. We're always there.
Right. And don't forget, you guys can write into Dirty Laundry as well with the Dear Dirty Laundry letter. Send those to me